Now I want to create that coffee table here in front of the sofa, the one that looks like kind of it's cut from a tree stump or something like that. Looks very natural, with the stainless steel legs. I think it looks very cool in a room like this. So first of all, we'll need some reference for that, and I will talk about the source for the textures a little bit later when we'll be doing the shading and all of that stuff. But right now we'll need the first texture, and down below under the video you can find the link for the texture I will be using right here. So it's a CC0, basically Creative Commons license, so you can go there, download it and use it, and I will show you how to use it here as a reference. And up until now we just always created the image reference and loaded up the image, but there's much better and quicker way how to do that. And basically I didn't show you up until now how to modify the windows in Blender, but right now we'll use this feature. And if you go to the corner of any window, basically here or here, you can click and drag this and you will drag out new window. And if you want to get rid of that, you can go back to that corner you just dragged, and you will see you can either collapse one or the other window there. So that arrow appears here, and when you release, that's gone. So that's very useful sometimes if you want to modify your workspace. So let's drag this out, and here you can basically change between all of the things you can see here on the screen. So you can switch to another outliner basically, or you can go to render properties or graph editor for the animation, whatever you need. And right now I want you to create a file browser, and you can have a Blender file browser active in the window like this. And if you check the little image icon here and switch to the display mode, you can find your downloaded texture. And I recommend you create some folder for textures where your project file is. So when you move your folder with your project file, you move your textures as well, and you have always the correct linking. So if you created folder and downloaded the tree stump texture there, you just go there, locate it. I have it right here. And right now, since we switched to the display mode thumbnails and we are filtering images so we can see them, you can just go to your scene. Let's go to the top view by pressing number 7. And right now we can just drag this into our scene, but be careful not to drag it on some object. You need to drag it on the empty grid. So let's drag it here, and you can see there's a little message, add empty image to empty. You just release, and basically you just created the image reference object, the one we've been creating while modeling the car. But this time this has the correct aspect ratio of the original image and everything. So we can now collapse this, we don't need it, and press Alt G to reset the position of this, go back to the top view, and we can scale this down. And right now we can press G and find some position for the table we want it to be, and I think this would do nicely here. So adjust the scale and the position here, and right now I want you to press Shift S and cursor to select it. And here we're gonna start modeling our coffee table. First, let's start by adding a vert again. So Shift A, Mesh, Single Vert, add Single Vert, make sure you are in the vertex select mode, and just press G and grab the new vert somewhere here in the corner. And right now you can just press E and extrude your shape. You don't have to go much into the details, just follow the shape here and there so you get approximately the shape of this stump. Okay, and you just select the last two and close with F. Right now we can select all, press F to fill, rotate the view and extrude to something like this. Okay, and right now just select all, go to the front view by pressing 1 on the numpad, and with all of these selected, press G, then Z while you're in the edit mode and bring this up. And I think this height would look nicely, where basically it's as high up as the sofa. So, but not the armrest, but the cushions underneath. So this will do fine. Maybe a little bit lower. Right now you can just tab out and we can delete this reference. We don't need it anymore. So press X, delete. And with the cursor still in place, let's just add a plane. We'll now create the legs for the table. So let's click plane, tab in, press R, X 90 to rotate 90 degrees on the X. Now let's go to the front view by pressing numpad 1, go to the wireframe so we have a better view of what we are doing. And right now just scale this on the X to something like this, maybe 1/3 of width of the table. And now just bring these vertices up, so drag a selection around them, press G, Z, move them up, but don't touch the floor with them, maybe move them a little bit over. We'll add geometry later that will go all the way to the floor. And right now just scale them a little bit inside like this and bevel them. So Control B, we add some segments, like 5 will be enough again, and make some beveled corners there. Right now you can select all, press X and delete only faces. Be careful not to delete faces because it would delete all of the vertices. So X, delete only faces. And one last thing, go to the edge select the top edge. We don't need that, so press X and delete the edge. Right now we can switch to the side view by pressing 3 on the numpad. Let's press A to select all, so we see where we are basically. And right now we can move all of this on the Y-axis, so press G, Y, move it to the side and rotate a little bit like this. So basically the bottom side is on the level of the edge of the table and you have some nice angle here. And we are going a little bit higher than the table, so go to the vertex select these two. We can go to the solid view right now and press G twice and move them inside. And now I want to have 3 of them around, so let's go to the top view. We can switch back to the wireframe, select all, and we'll use the spin modifier again. So click the spin modifier, drag and hold around, release anywhere, doesn't really matter. You will just configure this here. If you don't have it expanded, you can find it right here. Right now we just want to make 2 steps. Check duplicate, so it's not continuous and it doesn't create that excess geometry. And right now we'll need 240 degrees because it's 360 divided by 3, which is 120, but we are doing only 2 steps, so 240. Okay, and that's basically it. You can switch back to the selection, and right now tab out of this and go to your quick menu or object convert and convert to curve from mesh. Go to the geometry and add some bevel geometry. Adjust depth to something you like, maybe 0.02, and leave the resolution as is. We'll just smooth shade this later. Okay, so let's go back to the solid view, and right now I just want you to select the top of the table, and press Ctrl 2 to make it subdivided. Let's shade it smooth. And again, we'll need to add some geometry to finish this shape. So tab into the edit mode, make one cut here, and let's make it really sharp up there. One cut here. Okay. And to make it really sharp, we would need to inset this top face. So go to the face select it, press I to inset, and let's make a really small inset there. So right now you can see this is a nice edge here, and you can of course do that here as well, even though it's not too much visible, but nevertheless. Right now just select the legs again and right click and select shade smooth. So that's your coffee table basically. Right now just parent it, so select the legs, select the table and parent it. Maybe you would like to parent it other way, to make the table parented to legs, but I like to do it this way because when you're zoom out on the scene, it's much easier to select the table and move it and scale it around than the legs. And again, the origin point is down here, so basically it's very easy to scale and snap this object around the room like this. Okay, so the coffee table is done and we can move along.